Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to build a real-time blockchain gas tracker website. And this is how it will look. So this is what we are going to build in today's video, where we are going to track the Ethereum gas consumption on a real-time basis. So this is a graph, as you can see, which is actually showing us the latest 10 block gas consumption. And the graph will keep on changing as we will have new blocks in the blockchain. So for now, I'm showing the latest 10 blocks, but we can increase this limit up to thousands. We can increase this limit more than 1,000 as well, and I will show you how to do that. So let's start with the project. And to build this project, we are going to use React.js, Expressjs, PostgreSQL, and a very important thing without which we will not be able to track the gas consumption on a real-time basis, that is QuickNode streams and backfills. Now, what are these streams and backfills? Let me tell you this with the help of an example. So I will go to my database. So I will simply go to my table latest block. So this is the table that I have created inside this Ethereum blockchain. Okay, you can see that this is my database. And if I will go to this particular thing, all rows, it will actually show us with all the data that I have currently in my database. Let me show you. It will take some time because we have huge amount of data in my because I have huge amount of data in my database. So it will take some time. So you can see that I have this huge amount of data in my database, and how I'm able to get this huge amount of data. So for this only I have used QuickNode streams and backfills. So as you can see, this is a lot of data, right? And to have this amount of data, I need to use something. And for that only I have used QuickNode streams and backfills, because getting this huge amount of data from the blockchain directly, trust me, it is not easy. First of all, it is costly. Second time is it is slow. But using this QuickNode streams and backfills, I was able to get this data in just like this. And I will show you how to do that. And I will show you how to create your own database like this. And you don't have to do much. You have to just click on a single button, it will be done for you. Okay, now what is the streams, right? I'm continuously talking about QuickNode streams and backfills. What is this stream? So basically what we are doing is we are actually streaming the real-time data, and I will show you how we are actually streaming this real-time data. I will show you the setup and everything. Okay, that we are actually we are actually getting whatever data, whatever block is getting added on the blockchain, we are getting that data, we are getting that block in our database. Okay, so this is what we are doing, and that's why we call it as streaming, because we are streaming the data directly, the real-time data directly from the blockchain. And why we call it as backfills? We call this as backfills because we are actually getting the historical data from the blockchain, because blockchain has huge amount of data right now, right? And if I want some historical data from the blockchain, let's say from block number 0, from block number 1, or from block number 2, so I need something, right? And this is where QuickNode streams and backfills comes into picture. Now let me tell you that this data that we are seeing right now, the data that we are collecting from the blockchain, plays a very important role for any blockchain company. Why I'm saying that? Because let's say if you have a DeFi protocol and you want to monitor what is your user behavior, or what is the market movement, or what is going on with your DeFi protocol, you can monitor all these things with the help of data, right? You have all the historical data. Let's say if you want the historical data, you can get it using this QuickNode streams and backfills. Or let's say if you want some real-time data, like what at this point of time, what is happening in your DeFi protocol, so that let's say if you want to let's say if you have some useful insight from the data that you got, you can actually improve your algorithm, right? Otherwise, how you will know that the algorithm that you have written, or the algorithm that people are using for trading or any other thing, are actually working in a proper way or not? But with the help of this data, we can do that. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, hey, but can't I directly take the data, like read the data directly from the blockchain? It is totally free. I can directly go to the blockchain, I can query the blockchain, and I can get the data, right? Or can't I use my API? Or can't I use subgraph or something like that, some advanced API or something like that? Why to use QuickNode streams and backfills, right? I will answer all those things. Don't worry. I will answer all those why in just a short time. But for now, let me show you the quick setup of this QuickNode streams and backfill, which is just a click away. I have to just do a click and it will be ready for me. So first of all, let me show you that, and then I will answer your why. Why do we need this? Because trust me, setting up QuickNode stream is much more faster than to answer you this why. But I will answer this why. Just give me a second and let me show you the quick setup of QuickNode streams and backfill so that we can directly use it in our project. So let us quickly set up our backfill template so that we can use it in our project. And for that, you need to visit the website of QuickNode, that is quicknode.com/stream/backfills. I will share the link in the description. You have to simply visit this website and you can see that one click backfills, and this is truly true. Why I'm saying this, you understand. Just with one click, we will be able to create this template and we can start using it in our project. So I will simply scroll below and you can see that we have various backfill templates option, and definitely you can choose which blockchain you are looking for. Let's say if you're looking for a base blockchain, you can select that. If you're looking for a BNB smart chain, you can click that. In my case, I'm going to select Ethereum blockchain so that I can use it directly. And you can see these are the templates related to our Ethereum blockchain. We have backfills with blocks and transaction, backfill block, transaction and receipts, and backfill receipts. So whatever whatever thing you want to use in your project, according to that you can choose a template from here. In my case, I'm going to choose this particular template, and this is our template. And definitely you can change certain settings if you want to. Let's say if you want to choose a different blockchain from here also, you can do that. And definitely if you want to go for a test network, then you can do that as well. It's not that you have to just choose mainnet. You can choose Polia or any other testnet that are available here. And then you can see here that we have this option of dataset where you can choose a dataset according to your needs. Like you can see that we have transaction, logs, receipts, block. So whatever information that you need for your project, you can choose that particular dataset and that data will be available to you only. Okay. Now I will simply just scroll down and let me change the name of this particular stream. Let's say, let me rename it to, what should we name this particular stream? Or let's rename it to stream testing, right? This is good. So this is our stream testing, basically stream name. Definitely if you have multiple stream name, like if you have multiple streams in your dashboard, then it will be confusing, right? So that's why we have these stream names so that you can identify which stream you are actually working on. And then you can definitely select your region. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to change the batch size, as well as I'm not going to untick this, because this is something whenever the stream will be terminated for whatsoever reason, I will be getting an email on this particular email ID. Definitely you can change that, but in my case I will left it default. Okay. And then this is an interesting part. We have the option to choose the range of data that we want, right? The range of blocks that we want to deal with. So in this case, as you can see that we have stream start and we have stream in. And let's say if I want block number from 1 to 100, I can do that. And let's select 1 to 100. And for that, you will see the cost is 0 because we are not fetching much amount of data. But for now, just to show you how basically this whole stream works, I'm going to choose this 1 to 100 only. And then we will change it to latest blocks, which again, you can see from this particular basically stream start location. So if I will select this latest block and if I will just untick this, so we will have all the information from the latest blocks, like whenever a new block will be created, we will have that information. But I'm not going to choose it for now. I'm just going to choose it block from 1 to 100 so that I can show you that how the streaming process works. Okay. And then when we will be creating the template for our project, in that particular case, we will be definitely choosing a different option. And on the right hand side, you can see the cost and each and everything. For now, since we are using a very less amount of data here, all right, backfill total data is way less, I will say, right? It is less than GB. So that's why it is charging us with $0, right? And now we can choose whatever stream payload we want to choose from. So you can see that we have the stream raw payload, means if you do not want any filters on your stream, you want the data as it is, then definitely you should be going for this. But in any other case, let's say if you want to change the payload, like you want to add some filters, you have to simply click on this particular part and then you can apply certain filters here, and then you will have that data that you actually want. So let's say if this is a ERC20 or ERC115 token transfer and you want that, okay, I want this set of transactions only, you can do that. Okay, that's how it will work. But in my case, again, I'm going for the stream, the raw payload, and then I'm going to simply, okay, the next option is hidden here. So I will simply click on the next option and then we can choose the destination. Now the destination will be the place where your data will be actually getting stored. So you can choose from these wide varieties of options and you can also create your own function. In my case, I'm going to choose this PostgreSQL. Okay. And once I will choose this, I have certain things to fill out here. Now, you can see we have to provide certain information for the database. And for that, I'm going to use a website which will actually provide us with free database service. That is Ivan. Let me see where it is. Oh, okay. So we are at Ivan. Definitely. Okay, so now we are at Ivan, and again, I will share the link in the description of this video. It's a totally free service, so you don't have to worry about it. No credit card or anything is needed here. You have to simply go to Ivan website, simply sign up there, and then you will have this kind of dashboard. In my case, you can see that I have already a service running. I have already a PostgreSQL service running here. But in your case, what you need to do is you need to simply click on this create service option. You need to select this PostgreSQL, okay, and you have to select this free plan. In my case, since I'm already using the free plan, you can see that you are already using your one free PostgreSQL service. So in my case, I will not be able to do that, but in your case, you will be able to do that. Once you will do that, just follow the steps. It's a very simple step. Just click on this create free service and your service will be created. Don't have to do much here. You have to just leave the things as default, and then you have to simply click on create free service. Your service will be created, and once your service will be created, it will look something like this. So you will see the service in your services dashboard, and you will see the service running here, right? Now once the service start running, just click on the service and definitely try to hide some of these information. Since I'm showing you the demo version here, I'm definitely going to delete all these things once the demo video is created. But in your case, you should hide all these information. Some of these things are very private. Okay, so now what we'll be doing is just make this particular website on the right side and the QuickNode website on the left side. I will be simply, okay, selecting certain information from here. So okay, the connections, okay, the connection information, and I will be filling this out here. So I will select the host, I will paste it here. I will select the port, I will paste it here. I will select nv admin, paste it here, password here, and then the database name. So make sure the database that you're using is already created here. Just go to the database and you can create a new database if you want. So let's say if I want to create a new database, I can create a new database as, let's say, what should I name this? Let us rename this to Ethereum. Ethereum, I already have this Ethereum block, so I want to create something new. Let's say Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so this will be something new. Let me just create this database. Okay, so now my Ethereum blockchain database is created. I will simply paste this here. Okay, and you have to name the table. Now once the work is done, okay, you have to simply just again go back to the QuickNode website, and now you have to simply rename this table. So let's say I want to name this table as blocks, for example. Okay, so in the Ethereum blockchain, we will have a table name as blocks, and I will simply click on this test destination just to check whether the destination is available for use or not. In any case, let's say if the destination is not in any case that the destination is not available, it will throw you an error, so that you can check that before creating a stream. So let's say if I have by mistake written a wrong port number, and if I will check the destination, you will see that it will fail, right? So fail to test connection to destination. So it is not able to create a connection here, right? So let me again go back. Let me again check the destination, and now you can see that the destination is successful. Now what I need to do is we need to simply click on this create stream option, which is available in the bottom right. Now once I will do that, you will see the stream progress has started. Our data delivery process has started. So currently streaming at 11 of 100, and so many things are it is pretty fast, I will say, right? And 22% of the thing is completed, and it will go on till it will get completed. Okay, and you will see the matrix tab here if you want to see like how the data is being sent, the total amount of data is being sent, the throughput, the latency, each and everything will be available here for you to monitor. Then we have the logs as well. So you have all the information related to your stream, and this is nice. Let's just go back. Let's see. Okay, so the streaming is in progress, and if we want to see the streamed data, what we need to do is we need to install basically one more thing actually, that is PostgreSQL. Okay, I will show you that. It was running behind. Let me just go to the PostgreSQL website. Again, I will share the link in the description. You have to simply go to postgresql.org. Just click on download and you have to choose your operating system. In my case, I'm using Windows, so I will be selecting this. And then what I will be doing is I will be simply clicking on download the installer. Again, you will see the version that you want to install, and then you need to select the version, like select the operating system basically. So in my case, since I'm running Windows, I will be selecting this. In your case, if you are running Mac, just select this. Linux, then just go to this. So many options are there, right? So I will be clicking on this and you will see the installer being installed here. But in my case, I have already installed the PostgreSQL. Okay, basically this client, let me show you. In my case, I already have basically pgadmin4, okay, running on my system. In your case, you need to simply follow the steps. Steps are pretty simple. Just click on next, next, next. That's it. Once you will do that, you will see pgadmin4 running in your system. And this is my pgadmin. Okay, let me just I think I should be starting from the start, right, so that I can show you. Okay, let me just do one thing. Okay, let me start from here, right? Let me do this. So what we need to do is, for now, is we need to connect our database with Ivan, because Ivan is something which is actually connected to the streams, right? So what I need to do is I need to simply click on server. I need to register new server, and then I need to set up the name and each and everything. Again, I will make this right. I will again have the Ivan database here, and I will simply go to overview. Okay, so now I have all the information. I will simply fill this information here. So we have the name. Okay, I can name it to, let's say, you can see that I have already created so many of Ivan basically here, but let me do it again. Let me make it Ivan, or let's say, let's rename it to QuickNode or something like that. Okay, so this is our server, let's say, and I will simply go to connection. I will simply select the host address here. I will copy paste the port number. I will simply select the password from here. This is the password. The username, where's the username? So this is our, no, this is the database name, right? So where's the user here? This is the user. I will have this. I will have this here, and that's it. Now once I will do that, I will simply click on save password, save this, and once we will do that, you will see that we will have the database in our basically in this pgadmin4, and pgadmin4 will make it easy for us to see the tables, to query the tables, whatever you want to do in a very easy manner. So that's why we required this. And you will see that since I have a lot of database already created here, so you can see that all these databases are available here. But in our case, I will go to Ethereum blockchain, because this is the database that we have created, right? I will simply select this. I will simply go to schemas, and I will simply go to the tables, and here I will simply do all rows. So it will show us all the rows that are available. And you can see that we have blockchain number that is starting from first till 100, right? Because this is the streamed data, right? This is the amount of data that we have streamed from 1 to 100. So that's why we have block number from 1 to 100, and we have some extra information regarding the block. But the most important information is in this data field, which is in JSONB. Let me just show you this information. So you can see that we have all the information related to the block number, the hash, nonce, uncles, gas used. So many information, so much information is already available here. And trust me, this information right now that you are seeing is very low right now, because this is the time when Ethereum was just created, right? Because the blocks were just created at that point of time. But when we will just, when we will stream the latest blocks, you will see that we will have a huge amount of data inside this particular JSON file. But for now, this is good. This is good. One thing is for sure, that our streams, the stream that we have set up, is running properly, right? So this is the good information for us. Now, what we need to do is we need to just make certain changes in our template so that we have the latest block information. So now you have seen how to quickly set up your QuickNode streams and backfills for your project. It is easy, right? Now let's talk about the why part, because I promised you that in the upcoming section I will be talking about why we need QuickNode streams and backfills. So on your screen, you can see that we have a graph where I'm showing you the total cost as well as the blockchain capabilities. Basically, blockchain data capabilities on the x-axis and total cost on the y-axis, right? And now on the graph, you can see that we have these various options with the help of which we can get the data from the blockchain. First of all, we have this Node API, right? We can directly use an API in order to fetch the data from the blockchain. We have this enhanced API where we can actually create an API, but that is a powerful one, which is enhanced one for our project. And the third one is subgraph, and the fourth one is custom index. Now let's talk about all these options one by one. So the first option that we have on our screen is Node API, right? Node API, without a doubt, is a good option if you want to fetch data from the blockchain. But the problem with Node API is that it has very limited blockchain data capabilities. Means you cannot fetch, for example, a huge amount of data from the blockchain. And if you are fetching a huge amount of data from the blockchain, it will not be in a very, in a very formatted way so that you can directly use in your project. Now, the other option that we have is enhanced API, which is a good option if you want to, have a very limited use case for your project. But if you want to scale your project, then enhanced API will not be a good option because then you have to create a separate API for each and everything, right? But in QuickNode streams and Backfills, as you have seen, we have a lot of options with a lot of blockchain, and we are just one click away in order to set it up, right? Then the third option that we have is subgraph, and I have also tried subgraph. It is, I will say, a very difficult process to set up, and it has a lot of issues, right? Definitely, everything has pros and cons. So subgraph definitely provides us with good blockchain data capabilities, but it will cost us high, and it will require a lot of manpower to set it up and to maintain it and each and everything. Then we have custom index. Again, this is a good option. As you can see, we can have a good amount of blockchain data capabilities, but the cost is also very high, right? But if you talk about QuickNode streams and backfills, now this is something good, because now if you are using custom index with QuickNode streams and functions, then we are getting good blockchain data capabilities. Plus, we are also reducing our cost a lot. Okay, so that's why we are using QuickNode streams and backfills. So in short, we have the following benefits when we are using stream. First of all, we don't have any infrastructure costs. We don't have to do any infrastructure setup, nothing, nada. Second thing is that we can poll consistently new blocks. Means we have this guaranteed delivery mechanism from QuickNode where we will be having the guaranteed delivery of our data, which is very important in various cases. Third thing is that we have this capability of error handling. And fourth, and the most important thing, is that in order to do all these things, no expertise is required, means complete peace of mind. Okay, so before moving further, let me tell you one important thing, that the service that I was running got got expired because the limit was reached. So I have created this new service, and this new service also is also under their free platform trial. So you can also use that if in any case your service also got expired or the limit is reached, right? So you can do that for 30 days only, right? So they are generous enough to provide us with this $300 USD trial, so we can use it in order to check our stream, right? So let's just click on this information that I will be filling in, and nothing else will change, everything else will remain the same. Okay, so I will simply go back to the QuickNode website. So let me just go back to the QuickNode website. I will simply click on use template. So this time I am going to have latest block information, so I will be clicking on this, and you can see that we have to pay a certain amount of money of monthly basis since we are actually fetching the latest blocks, right? And we will let the stream name to be old rusty forest. This is good forest for now. And now I can simply just do next, and I can simply select PostgreSQL, and I will do it in the right side, and I will copy paste the information available here, and this will actually set up our template, right? Is the setup to use our template, and I will simply paste the password. The database name, I can change the database name to, let's say, Ethereum, only Ethereum, let's say, for example, if I want. And the table name can be, for example, we can name this table as blocks only, or latest blocks, right? So we can have this as latest blocks. And now we can create a stream. Before creating the stream, do make sure to check the destination. so that if you do not want any issue in the stream part. Okay, so there is some issue that I am facing right now. Okay, so it is saying that Ethereum database does not exist, so that's why we need to check the destination, right? So let me create a database by the name of Ethereum, and I will simply do add database. Great. Now let me check the destination. Okay, great, right? Now we can create a stream, and you will see a new stream will be created, and this is in progress, and it is going till infinity, right? And this is the current block number, right? And it will go till infinity until unless we will stop the stream. So we will let it run, and by that time what I will do is I will quickly just set up this server in our admin, right? So I will simply just go to pgadmin4. I will just create a new server. You can register a new server, right? Just register a new server. Let me rename it to Ivan, new Ivan, something like that, so that we are not confused. And I will simply go to connection, make it this particular information right. Okay, I'm not able to do that. Okay, now I am able to. So I will simply just take the information from here. Host is this. Where is the host? This is the host, right? And again the port number, and then we will have the database name, the username. I know I need to fill this particular thing. Again, paste this, say password. I think everything is good. We can save the database. Okay, now this will start syncing with our database, and you can see we have the Ethereum database. And if we will go to schemas, we will go to with tables, and we have the latest blocks, and I will just view this, and you will see all the latest blocks in our database, and you can see that. So we have all the latest blocks being fetched from the Ethereum blockchain, right? And we are going to use this in our project. So now this will just provide us with the latest information of the database just by clicking this, and you can see now we have 13 blocks, right? And if I will keep executing the script, right, you will see new information being in the database. Right now we have created this particular stream. For now I will be simply pausing it, right, because for now I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use it once we will create our server, once we will have our React.js code ready, and then we will again use it so that we can fetch the information, the latest information from the blockchain. So this is good. Now let's go ahead to Visual Studio Code and let's create a server. Okay everyone, so let's start with the server part. And for this, as you can see, I have opened my Visual Studio Code. I will simply create a folder by the name of, let's say, gas tracker. Okay, let's rename this folder to gas tracker. Let's cd gas tracker, and let's simply do not mkdir, sorry, but code dot, so that it will open the Visual Studio Code with my folder, right? You can definitely close this one and open this one. Now inside this, what we are going to do is we are going to create basically one folder. So we can simply do mkdir server. Okay, and let's clear this cd server, and in this I'm going to do npm init --y for the package.json. As you can see, we have the package.json here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install certain things, let's say Express course, and we will be requiring basically a nodeman. Okay, let's first of all do that. So this will provide us with all the dependency that are required in order to run our server. Okay, great. So now what I can do is I can simply create one file by the name of index.js, and I can simply go to package.json. Here I will add a script as a start. This is because we want to run nodeman so that we don't have to restart our server again and again. So nodeman and index.js. Okay, and that's it. We are good to go. Now if we want to check this, we can check this, that whether our server is running or not. And for that I can create one more file, let's say app.js. Okay, you can also do the like you can have all the logic in this index.js as well, as per your wish, but I'm going to have certain amount of code in app.js and some amount of code in this index.js, just to make our code much more manageable. Otherwise this is not a very big project, we are going to have a very small project. You can also have all these things in this one file only, that is in this index.js. So let's go to app, and here we will have the server. Let me just increase a little bit of, let me just zoom in a little bit, okay, so that it is clear to you. And let's do require express, in the same way you can remove the semicolon, not required as such. And then we can have the course. Okay, we haven't installed course, right? So we will use this also, require, and we will have the course. And then we can have const app, and then we can do express, right? And here we can do app.use, and we can have the course here, and we can also do app.use. We can have express.json so that we can parse the JSON data, and then we can simply export this module into module.exports is equal to app. And then we will go to our index.js. Let's go to index.js. Let's do const app require app, which is in the current directory, right? So we are going to fetch that, and then we will have the port. Let's say the port is 5000. Okay, we can run our server at port 5000, and then we can simply do app.listen, and then we can select the port. We can have a console log statement, that console.log server is running. Okay, we should use backticks in order to do this at port, and then we can have the port number inside this, just to check whether our server is running or not. Port, and then we can have definitely the backticks. And now what we will be doing is we will be simply running this by doing npm start. If everything will be correct, it will run, otherwise it will give us an error. And you can see that we have this error that it is saying that cannot found module gas tracker server index.js. Okay, by mistake what I have done is I have created these app.js and index.js outside the server folder. So let me just move these files inside the server. Yes, so this is asking just whether I want to update the, basically whether I want to update the URL path or not. And you can see that the server is running, and let's just remove this particular backtick. So you can see that our server is running perfectly fine. And whenever I'm going to make any change, since we are here using NodeMon here, so let's say if I'm making some changes here, it will restart the server. So you can see that the server restarted, and we now have server is running at port 5000. So once this is done, once our server is running, what we can do is we can create a folder where we are going to have the logic in order to connect with our database. So let's just name this as db.js. Okay, db.js, and we need to install certain things. Let me split the terminal. Let me install course, and let me install pg. Basically pg is a library that we are going to install. Let me show you that. So this pg is basically your node postgres package. Now this package will be helpful in order to connect with our database. So when we want to query our database, when we want to connect with our database, so this particular package will be required. So I'm going to install this as well. So course pg, I think course is available. That's why it didn't get any error. Yes, we already have course, so we don't need to install that. Okay, so let's just install this particular thing. Okay, so now we have pg package ready, and let me show you one very important thing. Let me show you that. So this, just remember that these are the dependency version that I'm using right now, so that in future if you are watching this particular tutorial and by any chance the dependency version changes, please make sure to use these dependency version only, so that you are not facing any error, right? Because if the version dependency changes, you might face certain errors, and I do not want that. So make sure that you are using the same dependency if you are watching this tutorial in the future. Okay, otherwise it's good. So let's just close this, and now we will simply do const, and here we will get the pool. Now this is going to be helpful in order to connect with the database. Actually it does a lot of different things, but we are not going to in the depth of this particular thing for now. And now we require one more thing, that is we can have the .env, so that we can have a .env file where we will be having all the confidential information related to our database. So let's create our .env file, and in this we will have certain things. That is, what are those certain things? Let me show you. Let's again go back to Chrome, go back to our Postgres. So these are the information that will be required in order to connect with our database. So I will simply go to the .env. I will simply name them. Let's say host, user, and port, and what other the things that we have is, I think, the password, and everything else is good, right? Let me see. We have the password, user, port, host. Yes, we have all the things in one place, and now we can use them. So just equal to, equal to, and equal to, add one more equal to. So now let us fill all the information. So we have the host here, right? And then we have the port here, we have the password. Again, these things are confidential. I'm showing you because this is just a demo project for now. You should keep these things confidential. And we need to have one more thing, that is the database. So let me have that as well. So database, that will be Ethereum, right? So we have all these information related to our database, and now we can again go back to the uh, place, and we can simply do const db is equal to, we will create an object, so pool, okay, and we will pass an object here. That is, we will have the user information, we will have the port number, we will have basically the database, we will have all the information that we have here basically. So we will have port, user, password, and then we will have last thing, that is our host, right? Or we can should have it as a first thing, host. Okay, great. Now we can simply do require, and we can do .env, so that we can have all the environment variables, that is config, and this is good. Now we can simply do process .env .host, then we can have process .env .user, and let me have the last thing, that is process .env .port, not last thing basically. We have one more thing, process.env database, and then we will have the last thing. So we will have env dot password. Great. Okay, it should be password, not with capital, right? Because we are fetching it from the .env file. And one last thing that we need to have is this SSL, because this Ivan that we are using, right, in order to connect with our database requires this SSL. Okay, so that's why we will be having this as well. Now once we have the DB, now what we will be checking is whether this DB is like whether we are able to connect with our database properly or not. And for that we will be again creating some function, and it should be an async function, and then we will have this. Let's have a try catch, because it's an async function, so it's necessary that we deal with the error. So we will have this, we can have console.log the error, and then in the try block we will have const client. Okay, it should be const client, and then we can have a wait db dot connect. Okay, and if by any chance there is some error, we will have that error in the catch block. So you can have this statement that let's say error connecting with Ivan Postgres, right? And let's have a comma here. Okay, great. And now what we can do is we can have a console.log, we can have a we can have connected to post Ivan Postgres. Okay, Postgres. Okay, nice. Now we have to simply call this function, and we need to make sure, since we are calling this function, we need to make sure that we have a semicolon here. Otherwise this will not run, and this will just give you an error. And then I think everything seems correct. Okay, there is this issue. It should be not db, it should be pg, right? Because db is something that we have created. Okay, we have created db 2 times. Let's rename this to config. That will be a much better name, config. Okay, so now we have PG, and then we have each and everything ready. We can simply do module dot exports, and then we can have db exported. Okay, so that we can use it in other module. And now let's see whether this particular function is running properly or not, and whether we are able to connect with our database or not. And for that I will go to app.js, and we will simply import this particular module db in order to check whether it is properly running or not. We will simply go to config, we will simply go to db and press save. Okay, so there is this issue that we are having while connecting with the database, that error connecting with Ivan Postgres error and get a not found. Okay, so we have basically issue, I think, in the host name, because this is in the host name, because this is what we are getting from the .env. Let's see. And if you will see, yes, we have actually I have made this mistake of having this host name twice. Let me remove this. Let me now save this. I hope this will fix the issue. Let's go to app.js and let's save this, and you can see that we have server running at port 5000, and then we have connected to Ivan Postgres. So our Ivan Postgres database is running perfectly fine. And if we want to check, let's say let's do some query here just to check whether everything is properly set up or not. So for that I'm going to do simply const response await. Okay, should be await db dot query, and we will simply do select now. And now let's simply do a console.log. Console.log, we can have server. Okay, server time, and then we can have simply from response we will simply go to rows, and we will go to index 0, and we will go to, yeah, I'm just having this from the documentation, so don't worry, you can check the documentation. And then from here we can have the now. Okay, and once this is done we can simply release the client. So we can simply do client dot release so that it is available for other users, and let's see whether it is working or not. And you can see that it is perfectly working fine. So we are connected to Ivan Postgres, and we have also checked that the query on the database is also working perfectly fine. And now it's time to connect this with, basically not connect this, but now it's time to query our database for the gas tracking project, right? And for that we are going to query the gas part as well as the timestamp part, not actually the time part as well as the gas part. So let's do that also. So now let's remove this from here, because we do not require this from, like, in this particular file. We will be creating a new folder. Let's rename this folder as routes, and we will have, let's say the file name is blocks, because you will be getting the latest blocks from here. So let's say blocks. And now we will simply have the express require express. We will have here the basically the db part, because we will be requiring the db, because we have to query the database, right? So that's why we will require this here. So we will simply go to the config, we will simply go to the db. Okay, this is good. And we will simply have the router. So router is equal to express dot router. Okay, so this is nice. And now we can do that router dot get, and we can have slash, and here we will have the query. So let's make this async function, and here you will query the database. So first of all we should have a try catch in case of any error. Okay, and let's simply for now do console.log error. Okay, and we can do module dot exports is equal to router. Now this is so that we can use it in our app.js. Okay, so let's just go to app.js. We can simply do const, we can do blocks is equal to require, and then we can have require, basically we will go to routes, and we will simply go to the blocks, and you can also rename it to blocks router. That okay, so this should be blocks router. Okay, and then we can have the app dot use, and we will handle all the API/blocks, and then we can have a call to blocks router. Okay, so this is good. We are good to go. We can check whether we have any errors, and we do have some errors. Let me check what are the errors. It is saying that router.use requires a middleware function. Okay, I made some mistake, I think. Okay, let me save this file also. I'm not sure. Okay, now this is good. Actually, I haven't saved the file. So now we are good to go, and we have to simply make some changes here. Basically, we will write all the logic inside this try catch block, basically inside this try block, so that we can query the database. And if I will go to the database, let's just go to the database. Let's go to pgadmin4. We have terminated the, if you remember that we have terminated our stream for some time, right? But still we have some amount of data in our database. So we can simply go to the server and we can go to new Ivan. Right, I have created a lot of servers here. I hope this was the one. Let's just go to this. We should go to where it is, schemas. Inside schemas, we should go to tables. Okay, actually I was looking into the wrong database. I should be in Ethereum, right? So in Ethereum, we should have our latest blocks, right? So this is the latest blocks tables. We can see the database. So it will take some time. Okay, so you can see that till now we have fetched this amount of data, right? And after that, we just terminated the stream for some time. We will activate it again. But for now, let's see what data we want to query from here. So if I will go to this particular section, that is this particular column, you can see that we have data in JSON format. Let's just double tap on this. So this will actually show us the entire data that we have inside this JSON file. And what data we require is, we require only the timestamp and the gas use. So if I will show you that, so we have this timestamp and we have this gas used, right? So we require this data so that we can create our gas tracking project. So for that, I need to just go to this particular JSON file. I need to go to this particular array, and from this array, I need to fetch the information of this gas used as well as this particular timestamp, right? So now we will write a query in order to parse this particular JSON file, and so that we can get this gas use as well as the timestamp, so that we can use it in our project, right? So let's do that. So now let's query the database. So we will do const and we will destructure rows db, before that await db dot query, and inside this we will have backticks. Now we will write our query inside this, and the query will be select. So we will extract the timestamp as well as the gas used from this data, that is a JSON data array, right? So we will simply go to the index number 0, and from this index number 0 we will go to the block. Okay, and we should have like this block, and then from block we will simply go to timestamp. Okay, we will simply go to timestamp, and then let's just have the data in the text format. So text as timestamp. Okay, now in the same way, what we are going to do is, let me just copy this same thing, okay, and paste it here. Now what we are going to do is, instead of timestamp, we are going to fetch the gas used, right? And we can again use gas used here. Definitely it should be in capital letter, not small letter. So for that, it should be also capital. There should be a comma, and we should also have this in quotes. So we can query the data. So we can query the timestamp and gas use as text format. Okay, and from where we are going to have this data, we are going to have this data from latest block, right? Latest blocks or block. Let me check that. We should go to pgadmin again. So it is latest blocks, right? So let me check. Okay, so this is latest blocks. Now what this particular query will do is that it will fetch the timestamp as well as the gas used of all the blocks that we are streaming from the QuickNode. And then I will have a limit of 10 here. Okay, and definitely it should not be underscore here, order by from block number, and I want the block number in decreasing order, and I want a limit of 10. Definitely you can increase it up to 100, 200, whatever data set you want. It's totally according to you, right? It's your choice. Okay, so this is the query that we are going to run, and then what we are going to do is we can simply send send this data back to the client, and definitely we can uh, print this right now also, so that we can check whether everything is working perfectly fine or not. Okay, and let's try this. Before that, I have to restart the server. Okay, so let me restart the server. I will simply do npm start, assuming everything is working. Yes, everything is working fine. Now I need to just run a query that is for API blocks, and then we will run this particular code, and this will actually provide us with all the rows. Let's see that. And this is so so this is so now so I'm running Postman, and inside Postman you can see that I have my API ready, that is localhost 5000 is /API/blocks. I'm going to simply do a send button. Okay, means just click on a send button, and you can see that we do not have any response, means I have made some mistake. Let me check. And the issue is at line number 11, and it is because of the hyphen that we have used. Actually, it was my mistake. I should not have used this hyphen at that point of time. I think I was pretty much excited at that point of time, so I have used this particular hyphen here. Again, not a good practice, but now I'm just going to use double quotes. Like, I am going to use these things like this latest blocks, which is actually two words inside these double quotes, so that there should be no confusion. Again, not a good practice. I should have used underscore here. Sorry for that. Let me again run this, and let's again go to Postman, and let's do a send operation again. I hope everything is working. Okay, so there is this issue. The issue is because of this response, and we should have rec and response, right? So that's why. But the query has worked without a doubt. As you can see that we have the information from the latest 10 blocks, and all the 10 blocks that are currently in our database basically. So we have the information regarding them, the timestamp, the gas use, each and everything is present here. But again, let's try to run this query again, just to check whether it is working properly. And yes, it is working properly. This is great. This is nice. We have the information of the timestamp, we have the information of the gas use. If we will go to admin 4 pg admin 4 basically, so you will see that this is the latest block, right? So let us see this block information just to verify. Okay. So here we have the block, and this is the amount of gas it used, that is 0x104d1b1. And let's check this whether it is true for us or not. So I will simply go and check this here. So we have 0x104d1b1. So this is the latest information from the last block that we just received, and the timestamp also. Let's verify that as well, and let's see the timestamp as well. Where is the timestamp? So the timestamp here, I think it should be somewhere here only. Okay, I'm not sure where the timestamp is right now. It is actually a pretty huge data, being very honest. This is the timestamp, that is C7b. So let's see that. So C7b, yeah. So this is good. This is great. So we have fetched the data from the database. Now the time is now it's time to use that data on our client side. So we will be now doing something, that is, we need to install a React.js. So we will be using React.js for it. So I will be simply creating one more folder by the name of client, let's say. And here what we will be doing is we will be using Vite. So let's install Vite, and with the help of this we are going to use React.js. So let's do this. Okay, it is saying that the current directory is not. Let's just cancel this particular operation for now. Let's just do this. Let's just delete this folder for now. Okay, and we can directly do this. And let's now create the folder client. So this will work. Let's go for React, go for JavaScript, going cd client. So I'm going to just follow the information, this particular set of instructions that are given. So I'm going to simply do client npm install, and then I will be simply doing npm run dev. Let's wait for the dependencies to get installed. Yeah, this is done. I will simply do npm run dev. So the application will start. So you can see that the application has started. And now what we are going to do is we are going to make certain changes on our client side. So you'll go to src, we can go to app.js. We should remove all these things. We do not require them. We can remove this thing as well. We do not require it. And we also do not require all these things. Okay, great. Now we need to install certain things so that we can use it on the client side. I will split the terminal and I will simply go to the Chrome. And we need to install these three dependencies. First of all is this npmi date fns. This will be helpful in order to convert the date. Basically, it will help us in converting the date into relative of. I will show you that. That will be much more easy for me, I think, to show you that. So I will show you that right there only. Okay, and then we need to have this React chart JS2. So this will be helpful for creating the chart. Okay, so I will be using this. And then finally, I'm going to use this last dependency, that is Expressjs, so that we can interact with the server. Okay, and I will install this as well. Okay, make sure you are using the same dependency that I'm using so that in future you are not getting some errors. So you can see that the dependencies that I'm using, the versions that I'm using, you can clearly see from here. Okay, now let's close this and let's again go back to app.jsx and let's first of all import use effect and use state hook because that will be required. We need to import Expressjs. So import Expressjs from Expressjs. Okay, and we need to import bar. So the type of graph that we are choosing is the bar type, as we have seen in the demonstration as well, and we will import it from React chart.js2. Now we will be simply creating one state, use state. We are going to simply create a variable that is chart and set chart use state with null, initialize with the null, or you can say that chart data so that it is much more readable. Now we will have the use effect so that we can interact with our server, and let's name a function fetch data async. Okay, great. And now let's have empty dependency list. Now what we are going to do is we are going to use Expressjs in order to fetch the response. So we will have the response. We will do await Expressjs dot get, and then we will have the URL here. Now for the URL, I am going to Postman because that was having our URL directly. I will simply paste this URL without making any mistakes, and then we will fetch the data. Response data, response dot data. Let's for now console log dot this data, and then we will create the chart. And let's have a try catch, and let's put this inside this try catch, and we will have a catch error console dot error, and here we can have error fetching block data, so that if we have any error we are going to catch that. Okay, this is nice. And yeah, everything is good. Now what we need to do is simply call this function, or you can name this function to block as well, fetch block data. That will be much more readable. So let's just call this, let's save this, and let's go back to the browser so that we can see how it is behaving. For now it is totally empty, doesn't matter, but you can see that we are actually calling the server and we have some issue, error listen indicated and asynchronous response by turning true, but the message channel closed before a response was received. Let's refresh this. Okay, now this is good. So you can see that what we are getting is we are getting the data, right? So we are getting this data from the server. Right now we are not getting the real-time data. Let me tell you, this is the old data. This is the data that we have already stored in the database. Soon we will work on the functionality where we are going to fetch the real-time data as well. But for now this is good, so that we can see this whether our chart is working properly or not. So for that, what I'm going to do is we need to basically import one more thing that we haven't. It will be format distance to now, and this we will be getting from date fns. So this will be helpful in order to show the data relatively, and I will tell you how to do that. And we need to have certain things to prepare the chart, and for that I will be simply doing this. I'm going to paste this thing here, and I will share the link in the description. I will share the project link in the description so that you can have this from the GitHub link. Okay. And now let's just import the css part. So this is everything that we have just right now imported is for the chart that we are going to create. Okay, so nothing fancy, just simply we are using the library that we have used, this react chart js2, and now we have all these things that we are going to use in our project in order to create the chart. Okay, so what we will be doing is we will be creating a function by the name of prepare chart, and this function, this prepare chart function, will handle the blocks, and we are going to call this prepare chart from here. Okay, so let's just call this prepare chart from here, and then what we are going to do is we are going to check whether we are receiving some blocks or not. So blocks dot length is greater than 0. If it is, then that's great. What we are going to do is we are going to now basically filter out the timestamps. So timestamps, because the timestamps currently that we are now receiving, let me show you, is in something like, okay, I think I have made some changes, but let me show you in Postman. The timestamp currently that now we are receiving is in this form of right, in this hexadecimal form, right? Now what I want to do is I want to show it like 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, like we have on Etherscan, right? If you have seen that the latest transaction was done 2 seconds ago, 3 seconds ago, something like that. So I want to show in that particular respect only, and for that I'm going to convert this into a proper format, and for that I'm going to simply do basically blocks dot map, and inside this I will have the timestamp. Okay, so I'm going to destructure it. Just recheck the spelling so that we are not making any mistake here in the destructuring part, right? So timestamp. So let's just have this here, and now we will simply have this, and now we are going to use the format distance to now, and inside this we will pass a new data object. Okay, not new data, basically new date, sorry for that. And then we will have the timestamp into 1000, and we will have add suffix as true. Okay, so this will take care of the data basically, and I will just make this like this. Okay, and if I have to show you this, let me show you so that you are also confident in this particular thing. Let me just do timestamps console.log. Let me just run this. Let me just go back to the browser. Okay, so there is some issue with does not provide export name from. Okay, I have made some mistake here, I think. Okay, I hope so this will resolve the issue. Okay, so this has actually resolved the issue, but okay, I have actually not renamed it here. So now it is actually returning us with undefined after the renaming because we have not returned the data from here. So let's just do a return. And now if I will check back, so I think everything will be good. Yes, so now you can see the data that we are getting is like the blocks that we are actually returning from here, right? The latest 10 blocks is actually returning us with the timestamp, and you can see that they are actually telling us the time that like the timestamp of all these gas use of the blocks are 4 days ago, right? So in this format I wanted to show the data in my graph, so that's why I've used that, right? And definitely when we are going to fetch the latest information, then it will not be showing this 4 days ago or 5 days ago, then it will be showing 1 second ago, 2 seconds ago, 10 seconds ago, this kind of data, right? And definitely since we are fetching the real-time data, it will be keep on updating, so we will have the latest data information always. Okay, so this is nice, this is nice. Now what we need to do is we need to just prepare the chart, and in order to prepare the chart, what we need to do is we need to just first of all clear this out. We need to have certain things. For that, let me have the gas used array as well, because we are going to use it on the x and like on the timestamp will be on the y-axis. No, sorry, the gas use will be on the y-axis and the timestamp will be on the x-axis, right? So we need the array for this as well. So that's why what we are going to do is we are going to destructure it and create an array out of it. So we will be again using map. We will be simply having gas used, right? And we are going to simply going to return this gas use. So we are actually creating a basically an array for the gas use as well. So let me show you that as well. So console.log, and let's simply have gas used. Let's see this so that we can now, so you can see that we have all the gas information as well in a separate array. And now we have to simply do one thing. We have to simply paste this code, and this code again is from the library of React.js, Chart.js2. Now this code will be responsible in order to show the data. Now this code that we have pasted here, right, we are setting the chart data. So we are simply using the use state here, and we are setting all these information as a form of an object. You can see that we have a label, we have a data set array, and all these information is to tell what type of graph we are looking for. So you can see that we have the label as gas use. You will see this when we will be creating the graph. You will see the border color, the background color, the fill leak. Like you can modify it according to your need by going to React.js chart2, okay, on their website, on their GitHub page. So you can update these information. So you can see that in the labels part, I have the timestamp, which I have here. I have the gas use, which I have here, right? So you can see that. And finally, we will paste this code here in order to load our chart. So you can see that we are simply having the heading here, and we are checking whether we have the chart data or not, which we are actually setting here, right? When we are actually doing this set chart, basically here, set chart data, when we are setting this information with this particular thing, with this particular object, and then we are simply checking for it whether it is available or not. If it is available, then we are passing it inside the bar component that is provided by the React.js chart2 library, and then we are simply passing the chart data. As you can see, right, this is the chart data, and certain new option in order to show the x-axis, to show the y-axis. Simple as that. Nothing fancy here that we are doing right now. Definitely you can do much more fancy thing here by making some changes at this particular place. If I will go back to the website, you can see that this is how our website looks right now. This is good, right? This is good. I have made some changes in the CSS part as well. I will share the code in the description of this video for the CSS part also. You can copy paste the index.css and app.css. I know definitely it is not looking that good, but if you want, right, in that particular case, so you can see that we have all the information related to the gas. So this is the gas data that we are like a block consumed, right? The last 10 blocks consumed, and this is looking good, right? But at this point of time, we are not fetching the real-time data, right? Our project is still not complete because this data that we are retrieving is old data, right? But what we want is some real data. So how we can do that? Let's see. So again, I'm at the QuickNode dashboard. I will simply go to the stream section. You will see that I have created a lot of streams, and I need to do is I need to simply go to old rusty forest. Remember, I have made certain, if you have if you have watched the video, definitely you have watched the video, but just to tell you that this was the stream that we have created, right? Old rusty forest. I'm simply going to start this particular stream. Now this will start the stream process once again, and what you will see is that if I will go to ph admin 4, it will start updating the data here as well. Okay, so let me show you that. Let me execute the script. Now you will see a lot of new data that are part of the basically stream. It will take some time, but you can see we have tons amount of data right now, right? So you can see that the last block right now we have is 213.865.86562, right? Okay, good. And if I will simply again run this query just to check that are we receiving the latest data information or not. So you can see that the tables are getting updated. I'm not sure why it is getting slow. Is it my system or something like that? But you can see that the total rows right now we have is 80. So it is terribly fast. It is so fast right now. Okay, but my system is not able to update this amount of data right now. I think I'm not sure the software or whatever is the reason right now. But the thing is, if I will go back to the Chrome, right? If I will go back to the website, and before going to the website, let me show you in Postman that as you can see that when I'm going to call this, you can see that it is keep on getting updated. When I'm calling this send, you can see that the timestamp is keep on changing, the gas use is keep on changing, because we are fetching the real-time data at this point of time from the blockchain. This is nice. Let's go back to the website and see whether it is working here or not. Let's refresh this. Okay, nice. You can see, I think, okay, so the the gas part is changing, but I'm not sure this particular part is changing. Let's see. I think the data that we are receiving for now, because the stream is running continuously, right, and still we have not fetched the entire amount of data for these 4 days, so it is taking some amount of time to go like to catch up with the real time data. But in some time we will be fetching the real time data. So for now we are actually fetching the 4 days old data. Let's wait for the stream to run for some time, and after some time what we will be seeing is the real time data. Okay, for now we are seeing the old data, the 4 days ago data, but let's wait, let's have some patience, and then we will be seeing the real time data. Okay, by the time it is actually catching up with the real time data, we need to fix one problem that we have right now in our website. And what is that problem? Right now, if you will see, the problem that you are facing is that when I refresh the page, then and then only I'm seeing the real time data, right? I have to keep on refreshing the page. You will see the graph is keep on changing, right? So as soon as I'm doing a refresh, the graph is changing. I'm again doing a refresh, the graph is changing. But I have to keep on refreshing the data in order to in order to see the real time data, or the data that we have latest in our database, right? The latest 10 blocks that we have right now in the database. I do not want that. I want that our website should automatically fetch the real-time data, the last 10 blocks that are right now in our database. I do not want this extra step for the user, that they have to keep on clicking on this refresh button in order to get the real-time data. I do not want that. So how we can do this? What we need to do is we need to use WebSockets. So let's do that, and by that time I hope it will fetch us with the real-time data, the data right now at this point of time. So for that I will be simply going to the server side. Okay, here I will create a new folder by the name of services. Okay, and I will simply have websocket.js, and I need to install ws. So I will simply do, okay, let me go back to the server, cd server, and npm install, and I will simply do ws, right? So we will have const WebSocket from require from ws. We also require the database, so we will have db equal to require, this is one directory above, right? So simply doing one directory above, going to config, going to db. Okay, now I will simply initialize the WebSocket server by doing init WebSocket server. Okay, server, I will pass the port number here where we want the WebSocket to run. So this will be the port, and I will simply do module dot exports init WebSocket server. Okay, so this is the function that we have to call. We will go to our index.js. Here we will have the port for the WebSocket. So WebSocket server, and let's say we want to run this at port 8000, and simply I will do init WebSocket server and require, and I will simply have this from the current directory, from the services folder, the WebSocket, right? And I will simply call this. So I will simply do init socket, and I will pass the WebSocket server port. Should be port, not server, right? Port. So I will simply pass this down to this. Let's save this. Let's see, it is not behaving weirdly or something like that. No, it is good for now. Okay, so now let's go back to WebSocket. Let's check everything is good. Console.log WebSocket, just checking whether the function is running or not. Okay, so it is running. We have WebSocket here. Good. So now what we will be doing is, so here we will do WSS. Basically, we will create an object for our WebSocket, WebSocket.server, and we will pass the port here. Okay, this is done. And now we will create another function. Let's say send update, not send update, but send update, so that we can send update to the client. Okay, let's make this async, and then we will use the WSS dot clients dot for each, and inside this we will have the client. Okay, I should remove this, not this, right? and then we will simply have basically now inside this for each, what we are going to do is we are going to simply check for the client. So if client dot ready state is equal to our WebSocket dot open, okay, in that particular case what we are going to do is we are going to run the query. So const, or we can simply copy this from here and we can paste it here. So this is the query that we are going to run, and definitely I should have this as async. Okay, so that we can use await inside this. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now once this is done, we will simply do client dot send, and inside this we will have json dot stringify, and we will have the rows to send to the client. Nice. And let's say I want to send updates on every 5 seconds, so I will simply do send updates, or updates, let's say, because we will have updates, and then we can choose 5000 here, so that we are going to send updates on every 5 seconds. Definitely you can choose whatever number you prefer. I'm going to have this. Now let's do last thing, wss on connection, and then we will have a function ws, and once this is done properly, we are going to have console.log WebSocket connected, or WebSocket client connected. Okay, client connected, and then we are going to do on close. In that particular case, what we are going to do is we are going to simply again call a function, and we are going to have, let's say, WebSocket client closed. Okay, so now the server part is done. We have actually created the server part, like the WebSocket from the server side is created. Now we have to go to the client, and we need to make sure that the connection is established between the server and the client, so that we can get the real-time update from the blockchain. Okay, so now coming to the client side, I'm going to create a use effect again. Okay, use effect, and I'm going to basically create the WebSocket object here. Const ws new WebSocket, and inside this I need to provide the URL that will be http local host port number 800, right? If I'm not wrong, we were running the WebSocket at port number 800. Yes, it was 800, but let's make it 800 so that we don't fail into any situation where the port is already occupied. Okay, okay, now let's do ws on message, and now we will have event. So now we are going to fetch the response data. So const response data, and we will simply have the response, basically event dot data, and we are going to parse it. So we are going to do json dot parse. Okay, so this is done. Now once this is done, what we are going to do is we are going to simply call this chart data, like we have done here as well, right? So I'm simply going to call this so that we have the latest data from the like the real-time data that we are having from the blockchain. And let's do a cleanup. Return ws.close, and let's have our dependency as empty, and we should have a bracket here. Okay, great. Let's do the last thing here, that in order to check whether our WebSocket server is running or not, that is, we should have a console here just to check everything is working fine or not. So we can have web, okay, backticks WebSocket server is running at port, let's say we will have dollar, and inside this we will have the port, right? I think this is the port, so we will have this port here, and that's it. And if everything will be correct, we will be seeing this particular message that WebSocket server is running at port 8000, right? 8080 basically. But still what we are not seeing is this particular console, that whether the WebSocket is connected with the client or not. So I think I have made some mistake here, and the mistake is I have used HTTP. First of all, double colon, it should not be it, right? I should have WS here, WS. Now let's do a save, And now you can see that we are connected with the client. So WebSocket client connected. And now we are ready to have some real-time data from the blockchain, and we do not need to refresh our page. It will be done automatically for us. And I will show you that. You have seen the demo project, but let me show you right now also. So in order to test our project, I need to again start my stream. And as you can see that I have already paused my stream because it was sending a huge amount of data and I was not able to handle that amount of data right now. So I have paused it, as you can see that, and I will again start the streaming process. But let me show you that this is the amount of data till now that has been sent to us. That is around 3.444 GB. In your case, if you have not paused the stream, then definitely it will be much more than this. But I have paused the stream, and now what I'm going to show you is that how you can actually change the settings of your stream so that you can stream from the block that you want to stream from. Means earlier when we were streaming, it was streaming from the previous 4 days ago data, right? But I want to stream from the let's say from today's data only. So in that particular case, what I need to do is I need to simply go to settings, and then I need to select the block number from where I want to start the stream from. So as you can see, this is some random number that I have selected here, but let me go to Etherscan. So on Etherscan, this is the latest block that we have right now. So I can select this number. I will paste this number here. Okay, so now we are going to stream from this particular block number, or what I can do is I can also select the latest, right? So I can go for either of the ways, and you can change the settings of your stream after you have started the stream. So it's not that you cannot change the setting, you can change the settings, you can change the other part of the streams as well, right? So that is also we have right now. I will quickly start the stream so that we have the latest block from this particular block number. Now this is nice. And I will simply go to the project that we have. I will simply refresh this for now in the starting. Okay, just to check whether we are good to go or not. I think I have saved the settings, right? Let me just refresh it just to check whether the streaming process has started or not. Okay, I think the streaming process has started. Okay, I think I haven't saved the data. Let me just copy this again and let me paste it here, and then let me just pause it. You have to pause the stream if you want to save the changes. Just save these changes. Okay, now the changes are saved. Okay, so you can see that stream is updated. Okay, great. Now once this is done, I will simply again start the stream. I can simply go to the project pack. So this is our Ethereum gas tracker, right? I will simply refresh it. Okay, for now, the data that we are seeing right now is about 17 hours ago. Okay, we need to wait for a time, I think. Okay, so there is this issue that we have right now. That's why it is not working. Let me just go to this. Okay, I have made a mistake here. It should be set chart data, and I have chart data here. So that's why I was having this issue. Let me save it. Now let me go back. So now you can see this is okay. The data got wiped out. I think there is some issue, or there are some issue on the front end side. Let me check that. Okay, actually I made a mistake. I actually called this set chart data. So that's why we were having this issue. It should not be set chart data, right? It should be prepare chart, because we are calling prepare chart in order to, set the data and to format the data properly. So it should be prepare chart, not set chart data. Now let us see this. So now you can see that the data is keep on changing, because as soon as we are receiving some new data from the database, we are actually reflecting it on the website, and you can see this. And we have set the webhook at 5 seconds updates, right? So it will take some time, but I think this is good. This is actually keeping the track of our gas. Oh, this looks nice, right? And you will see that time also will change, right? With whenever there will be new data, it will be changing with time. So don't think that it is static. It will be changing with time. So as soon as we are receiving some new data, so you can see that earlier it was showing 2 minutes ago, now it is showing 1 minute ago. So it will also keep on changing. One problem that I am seeing right now is, and I want you to fix that and let me know in the comment section as well, that right now the data that we are receiving, definitely it is providing us with the data, but it is not telling us the block number, right? What I want is from you is to complete this as an assignment, where you also show the block number in the graphs. Like this is the block number something 1 2 3 4, like what is the block number that we are receiving, and what is basically the gas consumption. Okay, so this is something which I want from you. So please do this particular assignment and share with me in the comment section. Now let me show you one funny thing. Right now you can see that our graph is not working, and the reason behind it that I have paused the stream. So it is very necessary, right, that your stream must keep on going so that you can have the real-time update. Otherwise you will not receiving any real-time update. As you can see that even if I will refresh the page, it will be still static. So make sure your stream is you are streaming continuously. You want some real-time data on your project. And with this we have completed our project. So hooray for completing this particular project, and I hope you enjoyed this particular project. And if you have, do let me know in the comment section. Please like to this channel and subscribe to this channel, and please do not forget your assignments. Do share the GitHub links in the description of this, sorry, not description, but comment section of this video, so that I can check it out later. Thank you so much for joining in today. Take care. Bye bye.